This is the TM Master Cup Series here for the season finale at the Decatur Raceway in Illinois. 11 cars are fighting over the series championship. Tony Durbin, Scott Bates, Anthony Evans, 3-time champ Leonid Roderick, Manny Brown, another 3-time champ Joseph Howard, Alexis Rainsford, Joe Rodriguez, Eric Jackson, Ryan Naraki, and Lewis Kingston in the 84. The clutch pole award went to Ross Peterson in car number 47. Peterson's last pole came in 2002, his rookie season at the Infineon Raceway. Watch Doug Baker, the yellow car on the inside. He's going to sweep around Ross Peterson. There he goes, and takes Alexis Rainsford with him. There you see Baker leading with Alexis Rainsford behind him. Ross Peterson stuck in the gaggle of cars. Tony Durbin started in the top 10 with Leonid Roderick right on his tail early out of the gate. Scott Bates, on the other hand, would be getting some help from his teammate Johnny Ada, but not the kind of help he wanted. The 88 goes over a bank into the 74 of Cyrus Laterza, gets that car fired, but no caution comes out. Although arguably there should have been, because that could have been a huge accident involving about 12 cars. Chaos early on at Decatur. On a lighter note, this is the first time that Kurt Pliskin, Tyrone Stanley, and Doug Baker have all started in the same race. This is also the first time that the two Outlaw-sponsored cars, the 24 and the 57, have started the race together. Pliskin and Baker both surprised everybody by qualifying inside the top 10, and they were running there as well. Danny Sobin, you see behind Kurt Pliskin, getting a little impatient. Alexis Rainsford in the N98 car won the TM Pro Cup title at this racetrack last year after her points rival James Lombardi crashed out early on. Rainsford looked to be in fine form so far, running in second towards the early part of the event. First caution in the race was on lap 4. One of the championship contenders found himself in trouble early in the going. Ryan Naraki in car number 3 runs into the back of Dale Roswell, spins himself out into the inside wall off the racetrack, and car number 3 is going to lose about 20 positions. He was running at about 12th, and he's going to fit back in line, looks like right behind Stephanie McGlynn's car in car number 6. The pits were also hazardous, as you're going to see right here. Congestion in pit road could result in bad things. Watch here, Manny Brown is going to get turned around by Jerry Luther in the 59 into the 55 of James Lombardi. This caused some big damage for Ryan Naraki as well, who runs into the side of the 59 car, adding more damage to what he already had received. Considering how chaotic the pits were early on in the race, it was a smart idea for Tony Durbin, Alan Hodges, and Matt Smith to stay on the racetrack early in the race. Scott Bates in car number 88 also stayed out in order to make up some more ground on his points rival, who was leading the race, scoring points as he did so. Second caution of the race flew on lap 8. Stuart Sandoval in the 77, the former GRL champ, reported some problems with his brakes. He pulled into the pits at the last minute, and no brakes means you're not going to slow down, which sent him straight into the pit wall. Sandoval climbed out of the car under his own power, but the 77 was out of the race. Alexis Rainsford in car number 98 led the field after Tony Durbin pitted during that caution flag. Doug Baker was in second, James Lombardi in third, caution 3 on lap 11. Palmer Styles dumped Sam Morrell into the inside wall. That was a huge hit at about 180 miles an hour, but Morrell climbed out under his own power. Brian Sendak restarted as the race leader with Kurt Pliskin, the other Outlaw car, in second place. Leonid Roderick, car number 4 though, was creeping around in third. Roderick has 4 wins at this racetrack, more than any other driver ever in TM Master Cup Series history. Roderick also is the winningest driver in the field with 69 wins. Kurt Pliskin takes the lead away from Brian Sendak. However, as you're going to see, Sendak in the silver car is not so willing to allow Pliskin to get away with it. Sendak dives to the left and hopes to take it away from Pliskin. However, as you're going to see coming here, the right lane appears to be the better choice. Leonid Roderick goes with Pliskin. Sendak is going to lose another spot, and Roderick will take second. The next caution, however, flew on lap 17. Championship contender Scott Bates runs into another championship contender, Joseph Howard, coming into the second turn. Both the 88 car and Joseph Howard's 17 would get bogged down in the grass and would need to be towed to the pits, even though it looked like they were going somewhere. Dale Roswell, car number 19, who had won the TM Pro Cup race here last season, led the field with Esme Rousseau from France in second. Kurt Pliskin and Leonid Roderick followed. Roswell in the number 19 car has been racing in this series since the late 70s. Caution 5 flew on lap 21. Johnny Ada is going to get turned around by James Lombardi. You see the 55 run into the back of the 94, spin him around. Alexis Rainsford got a piece of it, but Johnny Ado remarkably is able to keep it going. Kurt Pliskin led in the restart, taking the lead away from Brian Sendak. Lauren Roth, the 39, was a lap down. Sendak took the lead away from Pliskin, and Ross Peterson, the 47 car, decided to come with. Scott Bates in the 88 car was running back in 30th place. Tony Durbin and Leonid Roderick were both sitting inside the top 10. And Anthony Evans was running at about 15th, battling for position with Paul Lyons and Joseph Howard. Caution 6 on lap 27. By far the wildest ride of the day came when Joel Rodriguez escorted Lewis Kingston, one of his points rivals, into the wall off the racetrack. Kingston went barrel rolling about 20 or 30 times, but miraculously, he climbed out unscathed. Brian Sendak was the race leader until he slipped coming off the second turn and hit the Coke signs, handing the lead over to the number 1 car driven by Julia Nosova. Nosova would lead the field to the restart, and the former Formula 1 driver just tore away from the rest of the field, opening about 14 or 15 car lengths before they got into the third turn. Caution 7 on lap 30. Lauren Roth in the 39 car hits the rumble strip, snaps loose, gets into the 99 of Rachel Rainsford, and the 99 goes spinning down. Manny Brown just barely avoids it. Great driving on all participants, and it looks like everyone went through unscathed. Leonid Roderick was the race leader, but you see Scott Bates back there is not on the lead lap. He is actually 2 laps down. Jack Cronin in the 89 is in second. Roderick tore away from Cronin and Bates. Tyrone Stanley was running in third, Ross Peterson in fourth, and Woody Watts in fifth. Tony Durbin was running back in the 9th position on the restart. Anthony Evans was running back in 23rd and was having some problems navigating through the rest of the field. Caution number 8 flew on lap 33. Dale Roswell slips, gets hit by Jack Cronin in the 89. He goes spinning into the inside wall. Jack Cronin, however, would keep on traveling over across the racetrack, almost into the 06 of Woody Watts. But nobody hits him, and the 89 car actually merges back with traffic safely. Leonid Roderick keeps leading with Tyrone Stanley in car number 23, former Cariala Grand Prix winner, in second place. Tony Durbin, in the meantime, was battling with Alexis Rainsford for 5th position. Rainsford and Durbin are old arch enemies, and it was no surprise that the two brought out the next caution. Rainsford slips, Durbin doesn't move over, and the 98 car goes spinning into the grass. This would cause Alexis Rainsford to lose about 20 positions on the racetrack. She was running in 6th and fell down to 28th. Leonid Roderick restarted as the race leader with Christopher Allen in car number 71 running in the 2nd position. Allen is making his first career start and was running in the top 15 using a Flair Motorsports built car and a Flair Motorsports engine. Allen, in the meantime, was running mostly as a Flair Motorsports research and development team. However, it became evident towards the end that he had one of the strongest cars left in the field, and by far the fastest Lenard in the track. You can see running with 4-time Decatur winner Leonid Roderick down the front stretch. However, you're going to see where Roderick's experience comes into play. Allen makes a move on the left side, but as you saw earlier with Brian Sendak, the left side is not the smart place to run in turns 1 and 2, and Roderick sneaks away with the lead. There was easily enough room for car number 71 to make up all that ground, and coming to the white flag, Allen made the challenge again. However, he made it in the same place, and it was no surprise to see Roderick hold the right side line coming into turns 1 and 2, and that's where Christopher Allen literally lost the race. Car number 4 just held the right-hand side, and it was no way for the 71 to catch him. Leonid Roderick takes his 5th win at Decatur. Christopher Allen had to settle with 2nd, running as a research and development team for Flair Motorsports. Tyrone Stanley in 3rd, Matt Taylor. Doug Baker in the number 57 car scores his first top 5 of his career. Ross Peterson in the 47 car in 6th, Tony Durbin, Alan Hodges, Woody Watts making his 2nd career start, and then Jerry Luther finishes up in 10th. However, there was still one question that needed to be answered. Who had won the 2007 TM Master Cup Series Championship? The crowd was tense. The officials calculated points. And soon it was announced that the 2007 TM Master Cup Series champion would be Tony Durbin in car number 49 had edged Leonid Roderick by 11 points as he celebrates with victory burnouts on the front stretch. Durbin edges Roderick by 11 points, Evans by 29, Scott Bates is 51 behind, Alexis Rainsford 56 behind, Manny Brown, Joseph Howard, Eric Jackson, who will be leaving that team at the end of this season, Ryan Noraki, and then James Dalton is in 10th. However, Dalton tied for 10th with Palmer Styles, and behind those two was another tie between Matt Taylor and, yes, Alan Hodges, who missed Daytona and didn't qualify for Peoria either. Car number 13 finishes a respectable tie with 12th in points with Matt Taylor, missed 2 races early in the season, and Hodges got all the way back up into the top 20 by leading the series with top 10s with 7. Joel Rodriguez and Lewis Kingston, after their crash, fell to 14th and 15th. Matt Smith, Johnny Ada, Cyrus Laterza, Danny Savin, and Ross Peterson make out the top 20 in TM Master Cup Series points.